Cool, so you've set up your limber, perfect. Now let's set up your monitors. This is going to be your double monitor mounting, and you'll notice in your accessory box that you have two of these types of setups that have already arrived, and you have two of these that have already arrived as well. And so this is your double monitor mount, pre-assembled, easy as. And this is the wing in which you mount the double monitor, or mount your monitor. Whew, too many monitor words at once. All right. On here we've got an LG 24-inch monitor. On the back, beautifully, there's these 4 points. These are your VESA mounting points, and you'll see that they correspond to the holes that are in here as well. So all I need to do is get my monitor mounting screws, and you'll see the packet again in the accessory box. You'll have short and long screws, and you'll have an Allen key. And the Allen key is obviously to screw these in. The short and the long screws are variable depending on what kind of monitor you have. Sometimes you need longer screws to get into the points. For this one here, I'm simply putting it on top, and I'm using the short screws. I'm putting them through here, and I'm just going to find the slot where they're going to slot into, and then there we go. And I can slot those in like that, and then use my Allen key to tighten those up. So we just tighten those up. You do them relatively firmly. You don't want to go super hard, but if you're twisting it with your fingers like I am, you shouldn't be able to twist it with your fingers anymore. Alright, boom. So now that monitor is attached, you can just lift that up. It's nice and attached. I'm going to put that in my pocket for later. Take off these are your knobs, and they are going to be useful in a second, but right now we don't need those, so we're going to put them here. Grab this pre-assembled piece. We're actually going to disassemble it, but that gives you an idea of how this piece works, so we'll go through that. Put that there, put that there, pull those out. Okay, I'm going to come around the back. Whoop. So now, if I rotate this sideways, you see that there's a nice gap here. This is perfectly fitted for this piece to come through. And then, if I bring it this way again, we're getting the bolts, and we're going through that there and through the hole, and voila, we can grab the bigger knob and we can screw it on at the back. Sometimes these knobs are temperamental, you just got to get it right. We're going to do that for the bottom one as well. And you might be wondering, how do you know which side is up and which side is down? The long edge through here is the top edge, and then you get a big curve coming around. So I'm just going to lift that up a bit and screw it on. And what that means, what that looks like for you there, is that you've got these nicely screwed on. This is solid there, and you can eventually change it to whatever height you want just by gently loosening those off and rotating them up and down. But we're just going to leave it there for now, that's good. And then we'll go on to putting the mount onto it. So, you'll notice with this mount that there's one shorter screw and then two that are longer than it. The shorter screw is so that you can angle the mount in towards you a little bit. And so this one always ends up towards the center of your limber. So if I rotate that around, looking at that, we want two to be on top in a level, on the same level, on the same line, with this one, the shorter one, being on the inside. So when I rotate it like that, I'll roll that right around. Wait. You can see that two come through the top slot and one through the bottom slot. And I'm going to do some gymnastics to grab those. And then from there, I'm pushing this edge against the middle of this piece here so that it angles slightly. And then I'm going to do some finger gymnastics to get that on there. Be nice and tight. Reasonably tight, don't need to go too hard too early. And you can see as soon as that one's on, it's pretty much held in place. And the rest of the screws here are just to kind of adjust the knobs are just to adjust the angles of the screens and to really ensure that it is. So that one there I always do on pretty loosely. Doesn't need to be on very tight. Once they're all on, it's pretty much held in place, and so it's not going anywhere. Again, sometimes these knobs can be a little bit temperamental to start with. And hey presto, that one's on. And again, it doesn't have to be that tight. But you can start to tighten those and loosen those to adjust the angle here. But if I roll that around now, you can see because I've squeezed this middle edge against the wood, and then that's allowed me to figure out where the screws need to be, and I've then tightened up the knobs. You're good to go. So that one there is set up beautifully. Now we just need to do the cabling. So I'm just going to grab the cables. Got power cable and an HDMI cable. And so for the power cable, I'm just going to leave that on the ground. And through here we've got a little hole. Bring it up, hopefully you can see it. I'm going to feed this power cable through that hole, bring it all the way up to the top, the desktop. And then I can come through here, I can grab it, feed it through, and then under and up again. Just grabbing it in through there. Hey presto, there it is. And then I'm feeding it in behind the little wooden dowel, coming through the same slot that went through, and plugging that in to the power. Bum, presto. That can roll up, come around underneath. We can roll this excess cable up and put it in through here, and then the actual plug goes in through into the power, and it should go if your lever's plugged in. You can do the same now with the HDMI cord, so it follows the same route. It goes through that hole, up through, up behind this monitor. Now if I do this really well, I should be able to get that easily. Hey, there it is. Comes through this gap here, plugs directly in there. Boom. Bring that over the top, feed that through. And if I put my lid on, drop that down, bring it over, you've got your HDMI cord which can come up and plug into your computer, your laptop, whatever else you want to plug it into. And we can just have that there looking nice and neat. There you go, one screen for your double monitor set up. All you got to do is rinse and repeat, and you have the other side set up. Play with the monitors until they're facing you and they look nice enough for yourself, and then you should probably get back to work.